So these are the tablets. Phone dialer, that's your phone.
That's your text
Messaging,
and you got
free
video
profile, video, law library.
Yep.
Can I hit this?
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. So you can bring the law library out.
So you can actually access the law library
Yep.
from these?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Westlaw.
Yep.
What? That's fire. Let me click back out. Square.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome, all my people. We have an exciting episode today. So we're going through Sarah's discovery, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of this video I found of the prison tablets, the bulky tablets that Sarah always complains about. And in the back, if you notice, you can see the bunks where they sleep. And that's where Sarah wanted to keep all of her discovery, just laid out boxes and boxes of discovery in that small section that she was supposed to share with someone else. And a shout out to one of my favorite people, Edie Beatty. She found the eye care package with the famous wings and burgers that Sarah likes. It's pretty pricey too for a small pizza and a few wings. Tally that up every day. It's no wonder Brian Boone said, "Check please," as Mr. J said. We're also gonna pillage through that god-awful suggested parenting plan from Sarah. I hope you have your medical snacks. It's time to dance with the dogs and have a Sunday fun day.
Then you called Brian.
Yes. He
Told
came
him
over.
to come over.
Yes, he came
He
over.
lives down the road, right? Not very far. He came over, walked in, basically walked out. You called 911.
Yes, I had my phone in my hand. I just wanted to wait for him to get there because I didn't know what to do.
Right.
Brian, because I was supposed to have my son today and pick him up from school. Brian usually calls to make sure, hey, are you sure? So after he called like maybe 3-4 times, maybe 5, I finally answered, and that's like...
Do you think you were sleeping and missed those calls?
No, I ignored them.
You ignored them?
Because he's notorious for blowing up my phone.
Okay.
But I understand why, because he's making sure that Lucas gets home.
Right, yeah, okay.
And to do whatever he needs to do day-wise so he can schedule around it.
Were you upstairs in your room at that time when you were ignoring those phone calls?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, again, I didn't know what to do, so I called Brian, my ex-husband. I called him, he came over, just walked in, and then walked out. I grabbed my phone, and I called you guys. From there, here we are.
Okay.
Sarah to Lana. Subject is status report. Forgive me. I love you. I've been working my ass yesterday and today with what I can do with this basic laptop and viewing/listening to anything impossible with noisy inmates from these USB drives. No one thought any of this through. I've so much to tell you. Tomorrow, I go back to court. Remember, at 8:45 to supposedly be unhandcuffed in the courtroom from one of my last motions. We'll see. Another everlasting day starting at 2:30 a.m. Pray I am unhandcuffed and don't have to fight anymore about it. I'm also hand delivering the 8-page copy of my request to the captain. Everyone will know I'm trying and limited and oppressed. My favor. I promise I'll call or write extensively. If I'm not working or writing or figuring, I'm crashed out from sheer exhaustion mentally and physically. I know you understand. I pray you are super and smiling. I love you lots. I will be in touch this weekend. Don't give up on me. Friends forever and no matter.
Couldn't find him. You looked outside, couldn't find him anywhere.
He wasn't in the bathroom. I was
Right.
thinking maybe he's in the bathroom. But then I came to and
then
remembered
you...
the suitcase.
Okay, now this message is very important to Sarah because she copy-pasted it and sent it to both Lana and Christina. The subject for Lana is, "Hi, Question. Already. Yes. Sorry. And the subject to Christina is, hey, need you, love you. And the message reads, love you. Working on this letter. Need your input, please. Thinking about you and hoping you're having a good morning to turn into a good day. Good everything all the time. I'm sorry I'm bothering you so early, but I gotta get this done. I have been designated to be an attorney by the court. Yes? Roberta Real 7980. Hey Roberta. Roberta says, other people's time and money mean nothing to Sarah. Quote, it's only an hour. No, it's not. There's 2 hours just to get there and back. Another hour waiting in line, registration, etc. Then the length of the visit. Conservatively, that's 4 to 5 hours. Same as the, quote, only 13 cents per minute. Since the cost is so nominal, maybe Sarah can pay it out of the occasional extra money her friends send her. Or the money she makes at her prison job. I'm sure it's a very important job, one that pays well. They probably pay her more than they do other inmates because she's a straight A student. Shout out to you, Roberta. Old Kansas Girl and Missy Pop were thinking the same. Old Kansas Girl says, only thing Brian needs to know is Sarah's escape or death. She doesn't understand the term divorce. Negative earned. And Missy Pop says, quote, changes in her life means she's out of the commissary money. I saw a lot of you in the comments who were rubbed the wrong way about that, where Sarah wanted Brian to legally be binded to communicating with her and knowing about her changes in her life. I'm with Missy. I think that's what changes mean also when she's out of commissary money. Brian. LZB said, shout out to LZ, in the interrogation where she, quote, swears on her son's life. I absolutely hate when people do that. It's not their life to swear on. Sarah holds this red folder for Alana to let her know how much she loves her, but right now she's trying to get her stun cuffs and handcuffs removed. She wants to prance around the courtroom like Bisha's Cashman in her skirt, hands-free with all of her mobility, but Judge Kranick has a few questions. He ultimately allowed Sarah to remove the handcuffs, but let's just watch her journey to get there. Be sure to pay close attention. Pro se Sarah Boone is trying to pull a fast one over on the court as she wiggles her red folder to let Lana know she loves her. Let's get to court.
If I may make it clear also, I'm simply just asking to be unhandcuffed so I can write and move properly. I'm not trying to maneuver the courtroom and so on and so forth. I simply just am asking to sit here being unhandcuffed so I can write without taking skin off of my wrist and being extremely uncomfortable.
Okay. Ma'am, thank you for that clarification, because when I read your motion, you asked to be unshackled, to have freedom of movement. And I interpreted that as you wanted to move, as everybody else may be able to move in this courtroom, as Mr. Cashstory has moved around, how other persons have moved around. And it wasn't only limited to your hands. I thought it meant to your entire person based on what it is that you were seeking in your motion. So just for the purposes of my own clarification, is your motion only seeking to have your hands not bound so that you can move your hands, but otherwise shackles that may be on your legs would continue to stay there?
Right. I don't currently have shackles, but I don't know what is in regards to trial procedure. And in regards for you not having the clarification of me just wanting to be unhandcuffed, is it my responsibility, or I don't know if you can answer this, but you don't ask questions, which is what got me in this predicament from the get-go of having no counsel, because no questions were ever asked to me. Just for the majority of my motions and letters and so on that I have supplied the court for more information to try to intervene and help, it's just gotten me into hotter water and no counsel and still restrained. So is it something that I need to specifically clarify going forward, or is it something that you have the ability to ask me questions so you have a better understanding?
Sidebar, Sarah's attempting to pull a fast one on the court with her red folder. Sarah is trying to convey to the world that she's being retaliated against because she asked a few questions, right? Although the world can see the games that she's playing. Well, everyone besides her supporters around the world who shared the same logic and delusion as her. We now know that behind the scenes, Sarah and Lana were vigorously reaching out to Judge Kranick on his voicemail, in his chambers, leaving him messages, emails, etc. He was 10 steps ahead of these gals. I think he may have even knew who Lana was before she testified at the sentencing hearing. Let's watch as he puts Sarah in her place while she tries to pull a fast one.
Generally, I don't know that I can answer that question because it may call for me providing you legal advice. If I'm asking questions, it's because I'm trying to clarify things from my understanding. I cannot ask questions on your behalf. I cannot ask questions for you. I cannot assist you in any process, be it this hearing or at trial.
Right. Yes, I understand. I wasn't asking for assistance. I was just trying to understand by you not asking questions in regards to my motion about being unhandcuffed and unshackled simply meant just my handcuffs.
Ma'am, I reviewed your motion to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, and allowed reasonable freedom to movement and functioning accordingly, equally, and comfortably while utilizing the courtroom. All normal movement of the defendant's hands is as a whole freely, properly, successfully accomplish any task that is needed. Asking to be unshackled and unhandcuffed, the defendant is simply requesting equal, comfortable, functional movement to achieve advancement in her forfeited right to counsel by the court, which will greatly enhance the productivity and progress for the defendant and the completion of her defense in her criminal case in preparation for trial. Your wherefore clause specifically asks to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, and allowed reasonably free in movement to function equally, accordingly, and comfortably in the courtroom. I took that as you wanted to move around. You did not want to be shackled, which would be your legs as well, and you did not want to have handcuffs. If you're telling me now that all you're asking is your hands to be free, that's respectfully not what your motion says over and over and over again, as I've just read. So if you would like to clarify for me now at this time, you can as to what it is that you're asking of me.
Yes. Handcuffed. I would like to have these handcuffs removed from my wrists.
Okay.
In regards to the unshackled, I know at some point I would have to maneuver, I'm guessing, in the courtroom for trial. So I didn't want to have to wait last moment to have to do another motion to be unshackled if that's what my option is, because I don't know. So I was just trying to be transparent prior so you would know what it was that I was hopefully expecting. But first,
go ahead.
It's just handcuffs means unhandcuffed. And if for trial I have to be shackled, to be unshackled.
Okay, and when you say unshackled, what do you mean by that? Just so that we're all in the same field.
Shackled, as far as my understanding is from being shackled, means that I have this along with my waist, along with my ankles. So unhandcuffed is simply for the hands and the wrists, and then unshackled would be for my ankles and for the feet.
And is that what you were seeking for trial purposes?
I didn't know if I was going to be shackled or not, so that was why I was trying to be transparent and up forward by doing so now to make the court aware that that would be a request of mine at the time.
Okay, all right. So you would be seeking to be unshackled, no leg restraints, no arm restraints at trial, right?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you also be asking of the court to move around the courtroom when trial would take place?
I'm not sure if this is considered legal advice, but I don't know. I know from seeing other trials, the state and the defense, they maneuver the courtroom in front of the jury, so on and so forth, and they hand things back and forth. I would have to have other movement other than me sitting here. So yes, I would have very limited, reasonable movement in the courtroom for trial, okay. Yes.
Is there anything else, ma'am, that you would like to tell me with regard to what you're seeking in your motion, to be hands-free, for lack of a better word, during any hearings that we may have, and then to be hands-free, unshackled with your legs, and to have movement in the courtroom during the course of the trial?
I've had to lie to you guys 3 times.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me about those requests?
I don't know if you've been able to see my difficulty with just simply trying to take notes. Yes, very much I would like to be unhandcuffed, just to sit here and be in attendance of my hearings, conferences, whatever it is. For the trial, when the time comes for any limited movement that I would have, the stun cuff, I would sign the waiver now. Just whatever it is that I can do in order to enable myself to be able to have the same comfortable atmosphere and movement and equal opportunities just as everyone else.
Thank you.
Sidebar, sounds like Sarah wants to move around like a free person.
we can get it all settled today.
I agree, which was the purpose of why we wanted to set it for today, to address all those circumstances and again think ahead. Ma'am, do you have any closing remarks or arguments that you'd like to make to the court about your desires to be unhandcuffed, unshackled, and or utilize the stun cuff?
I believe that it is unfair that you, number one, want me to represent myself, and then number two, you would like for me to represent myself while being handcuffed, to be able to progressively and actively participate properly in the same as others with just simply being able to write notes. At some point, I'm sure I will be bringing things with me to court that I need to reach for, to open, to pass normal functions in a body as a whole, with the same equal level as anyone in the courtroom would have in order for myself to be able to do the same and function fairly and appropriately. I don't know if this is legal advice or not, but in a trial, are you able to tell me, are defendants shackled, or is this something that I don't even need to worry about because they're not even shackled?
Typically, ma'am, the defendants have leg shackles that, as Deputy already identified, Deputy Lowton identified, they're wrapped so that they're muffled, so that they don't jingle jangle or bring any noise attention. And the privacy panels located in front of defense counsel's table would prohibit the jury from seeing those. Their hands are free, but the legs are in restraints.
Thank you. Yes, I very much would like to be unhandcuffed just to simply take notes and function normally and equally just for hearings and so on and so forth, which we have a lot scheduled futuristically. And then when trial comes about, either way with trial and or hearings, the stun cuff, I am readily awaiting for that to be an option and to apply as soon as possible. Whatever it is and however it is that I need to, just to at least just have these removed.
Okay, got it. Any closing remarks? For the purposes of trial, in accordance with Florida Supreme Court decision in Weaver, you will be hands-free and you will not be shackled with legs. But the stun cuff, as identified by Sergeant Barnett, will be affixed to you and you'll have to sign that waiver. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
For sitting here in the counsel's table, you also said that I would be shackled. I'm not shackled now. Will I be shackled then?
My understanding is that you were. If you're not, and the only thing you have is your handcuffs?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. If that's the case, then you'll be seated at counsel's table with that, as you are without your hand restraints.
Okay, so I would be unbound.
Correct.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Sarah Talana after her handcuff motions hearing. Subject is crusade, which is why she had on her helmet. Lana, onward Christian soldier, exclamation. Yes, exclamation. I knew he was effing lying from the get-go. And yes, I won. Onward Christian soldier, onward. Chin straps tight. Everyone put your helmets on. Get ready in the comment section. We have a new theory alert. Shout out to NK Did It, one of my top tier Boone's Farm commenters. NK says she has diabetes from all those medical honey buns. Barbara Murray Babs. Hey Barbara. Barbara says, I truly believe if she could have, she would have gotten Brian to pick up the whole suitcase and throw it in the dumpster. Worst thing Brian did was marry her. Best thing was to turn around and walk out. Check, please. Oh, I'm so happy Brian didn't pass the entrance, the foyer, the entryway into the townhome, into Sarah's labyrinth, her dark rabbit hole. What do you guys think in the comment section? Was Sarah trying to set Brian up, make him an accomplice, make him a unclean hand bandit like herself? Joette Connor 6861 says, Danielle, I know this is a little off from what you're talking about this time, but I was thinking about the suitcase and George. I don't know if anyone else has come up with this possible solution to how she got him in the suitcase, but I just wanted to run it past you. What if George did have the suitcase out to pack up and leave? maybe Sarah jumped in the suitcase and said, "No, if you can't go, you gotta take me with you," or whatever, goofing around. And then she laid in the suitcase laughing about it, and then got up and said, you see if you fit. So, okay, so, he always does what she says. And once he was in the suitcase, she hit him with the baseball bat, zipped him in, and slid him down the stairs. No lifting, no fighting, no problem. What do you think? We the people have hypothesized about this suitcase theory ceaselessly and endlessly. I myself thought one day maybe Sarah tricked George as well. Maybe she said, "George, the police are at the door. Hurry up and hide." And he went to hide. George had a fear of being arrested again. We've seen on the body camera multiple times, a multitudinous amount of times, where Sarah lured him over, set him up, and got him arrested. She could have just said, "Hide." I've also thought maybe he was fed up and he was packing his bags on his own, and she walked up behind him with little man's bat, the bat that George and little man used to play outside with, hit him over the head, turning it into her weapon of mass destruction. Can I ask my list? Pillowcase with stain, bloody necktie, baseball bat. That's little man's bat. You'll see that in the house. In the interrogation room, she knew what she did with that baseball bat. Just like she knows what she's doing in family court in front of Judge Jackson, presenting as she's an excellent mother. Let's go and listen to some of those secret tablet messages on that bulky preschool tablet that Sarah wrote to Lana when they were stalking and being stealthy to Brian. Those were the days. I'm sure Sarah, inmate Boone, surely misses her trusty assistant, Lana. Rest in peace, Lana. Lana would not have turned in a ChatGPT closing argument. She would have looked up the correct case law and financially supported the family law case. I'm sure Sarah misses her now. Know that. I hope Judge Jackson is privy to this. I wish she could just read all of the messages like us so that she could be familiar futuristically, currentistically, prioristically, presentistically about Sarah Boone. I just can't get past you and I are communicating so far apart. So cool. About the tablets, they are beyond basic and there is no internet. They remind me of the bulky, super thick, protected preschool tablet we had for my son when he was young. I get so frustrated with them and autocorrect makes me see red. We can watch movies, message, use the law library every day, view photos, make requests to the jail. Not much of anything, and everything costs money. Not much of anything, and everything costs money. In review of petitioner's former husband, in review of former husband's credit card statements supplied for only April 26, 2024 to March 27, 2025, 11 months. Per month, the former husband received between $3,000 and $17,000 combined. Total for all months in this time period was calculated at over $39,000. For this income, quote, an income tax return should have been filed, which former husband is refusing to submit in one motion and saying, quote, none exist in another motion. 3. Respondent is compelling petitioner, former husband, for additional evidence and truthful, which is lawfully necessary to prove my defense of contempt, including why he was not working for over 3 full years and able to live a non-destitute lifestyle. While supporting a child. Do you guys remember when Sarah's trusty assistant, Lana, was digging into Brian's background and got his credit card statements, and Sarah saw that he was ordering Uber and Uber Eats, and she was so upset. And he was taking a vacation, and she was very upset about that. Why wouldn't she want her son to go out and enjoy the world and have a vacation? Selfish. 4. Expenses detailed on the financial affidavit provided by petitioner do not include the petitioner's regular purchases of, check this out, you guys, alcohol, cigarettes, video games, Uber Eats, there we go, 5 out of 7 days a week, football games, cruise packages, etc. More examples of inaccurate expenses include groceries, bill payments, cell phone, and miscellaneous entertainment. Oh my God. She is unbelievable. Are you guys hearing this? Everything that she mentioned, minus alcohol and cigarettes, her son directly benefits from. Uber Eats. Kids love to order DoorDash weekly. And then she said 5 days out of 7, which to me means maybe while dad's at work, he leaves a couple dollars on the card for his son to order some food after school. Or maybe, I know that I have kids in my family that like to order the food to their school and get it delivered so that they can really feel special, you know. Sarah, football games, cruise packages, those all, groceries, bill payments, cell phones, those are all things that directly benefit her son. Selfish. 5. Petitioner has left numerous entries blank, entered 0, or stated, quote, none exist. Respondent, me, can prove otherwise, especially with the requested additional documentation, paperwork, and tax returns. Also, respondent would like to bring the court. Sorry, sidebar. This is infuriating. I can't wait to see the comments when you guys actually hear this, and I'll see you in the comment section. I can't believe Sarah. She would like to bring to the court's attention that petitioner refuses to complete visitation forms, which respondent has pleaded with him for to submit since January 7th, 2025. Petitioner, former husband, repeatedly lies about completing this task, including to the minor child who has been asking petitioner, former husband, to finish and send numerous times when on the phone with respondent, me, so that she can hear petitioner's response. So is she saying that she is again using her son as a mediator between her and her former husband, which is totally not right? Also, she's acting as if this little boy is dying to get into the prison. Like he is, oh mom, I can't wait to come to the prison. I want to hurry up and come, mom. I need that visitation form. She's painting the picture like they're going to Disneyland. Nonetheless, I think Sarah's trying to feed me. You know, I don't know if I'm able to say that, but I think she's trying to feed me. She goes on to say how she believes that the former husband is purposefully and willfully keeping her son from her, alienating her as if she is not alienated from society. And she goes on for the money. It's all about the money. It continues. She wants full financial disclosure. It's required under Rosen v. Rosen. And she lists the section and the statute, which holds that financial affidavits and supporting documents must reflect all sources of income, including gifts and support from others. So this sounds like to me that Sarah was with Brian for a long time. She knows that his family allegedly provides for him and they're more well-to-do, which is why she mentions things like, oh, his family's in the country club and my family is, you know, she compares bad and worse. She's always insecure about her family and their background and I guess quite frankly their income. And the Boones apparently Brian doesn't have to really worry that his family is supporting him, and she knows this, and she wants a piece. C. Misrepresentation of financial status is a form of discovery abuse that may result in sanctions. She's saying sanctions and contempt. She wants Brian to go down. I think she's upset that he didn't come in and help her. Her argument is petitioners' refusal to answer interrogatories and the apparent inconsistencies in his financial affidavit undermines the integrity of this proceeding and inhibits respondents' ability to properly prepare her case, particularly with regard to equitable distribution and particularly with regard to equitable distribution and potential support obligations. It's all back to the money. So she wants Brian to give her every single thing so that she can know how to collect, basically. Okay, am I being biased? Should Brian have continued his $1,000 monthly alimony payments to inmate Boone, although she is a ward of the state and all of her needs are met? Was that money owed to her? I know that Brian, once he was forced into becoming a single parent, it's possible that he lost his job. He had to relocate. There was a lot for him to deal with, and he didn't have the money. So that has to count for something. I'm sure the court has to uphold that for, that has to mean something that he didn't have it, right? And her needs were met. She was no longer living in Tillwood apartments where her rent and bills needed to be met. That was not the situation anymore. She's now taken care of, eating honey buns and drinking Jumpin' Java. Oh, speaking of Jumpin' Java, Sarah's been getting into some trouble, negative earned, back at the dorms. So we're going to talk about that towards the end of the video.
That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drugged you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did. I don't know what to tell you.
You told us that. You didn't go upstairs?
Again.
Like over. So
roll it.
You roll it out. Like, it's not like...
I didn't want it to be like that. Don't...
You didn't want him to be upside down? How do you even get upside down?
You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear...
Shut the fuck up.
That's how he talks to me most of the time.
You go, George. I bet he did tell her to shut the F up sometimes. I bet Brian Boone wants to tell her that right now. Let's go and do a rewind on Sarah's prison parenting plan and why she opposes Brian's practical parenting plan. Brian lets Sarah know in open court that he did not care about her schedule, her frivolous text messages and calls, and I think she wants to punish him. Hey, she's so jealous that he has his freedom to smoke cigarettes and drink liquor and order Uber and watch football. Okay, where were we? Petitioner to communicate. B. Regular open communication and telephone calls between mother and son, unanswered upon child's availability and desire. Unanswered upon child's availability and desire. So she's saying that she's going to leave it up to the child to answer or his availability. Okay, kind of fair. C. Regular open communication. You guys let me know if that's what she was saying. I'll read that again. B. Regular open communication and telephone calls between mother and son, answered upon child's availability and desire. C. Regular open communication between mother and son in tablet messages with credits to utilize features to send pictures and as an alternative to telephone calls. D. in-person visits 1 to 2 times per month with maximum allowable time permitted by facility. 1 to 2 times per month. So every 2 weeks you want them to take a 2-hour drive to stand in a line and wait for you to visit you for 30 minutes. In case you missed it, we're going over the additional 4 pages, the parenting plan for Sarah. Per the petitioner's amended parenting plan, quote, the father shall maintain open access and contact between the minor child and the mother to foster a feeling of affection between the minor child and mother, end quote. The child will be a legal adult in only 3 years, and respondent me questions why petitioner would attempt now to deplete the communication and comfort already established and the relationship between mother and son. This would not and is not in the best interest of the child. What the respondent, me, is proposing will deepen the relationship and truly foster feelings of affection. Translation, then I'll really be in control of things. 1 30-minute phone call per week will not achieve their proposed, quote, feeling of affection, nor the father ensuring 1 monthly visit if football games don't take priority, he stated in trial. We watched that footage of Brian casually explaining that him and Little Man may go to the season tickets. They have season tickets. However, guys do that, you know. Shout out to all the guys watching Sunday and Monday Night Football. Can you imagine going to a prison facility instead of going to watch your favorite team play football on a Sunday? Oh, Sarah. In continued elevation of the relationship with her son and in his best interest and in accordance with Perez v. Perez, stating restriction on parenting time must serve the child's best interest. Sidebar, I believe restricting a child going to prison is in his best interest. Not the parent's convenience or preference, respondent me requests this honorable court to order. Here we go. We're going to relist her ABCs. A. Respondent me to be included in all aspects, including major decisions, unless emergency. Sidebar, during court, Brian's attorney asked Sarah if there was an emergency, would Brian be able to reach you? And she pretty much had to admit no. So she's being gracious to say, unless it's an emergency, he can go ahead and make the decision on his own. Proposed vacations, appointments, meetings, everything pertaining to her son's life, so she is aware what his status is overall and continually. Now that I read this again, so if Sarah, say Little Man has a meeting at his STEM program in school, and Sarah wants to be included. Inclusion. She wants to be included in everything. He has a toothache. He needs to go to the dentist. He might need to switch to a new dentist. She wants to be involved. Petitioner to, this is still part of A. Petitioner to communicate and cooperate properly and regularly with respondent via telephone and tablet messages to have any questions answered or concerns addressed about her son, or to update petitioner about changes in her life they both need to be aware of. Hold on, sidebar. I'm so glad that I'm rereading this again. What? I'm sorry, I'm frazzled. Let me relax and read this again. Sarah gets me so frazzled. Petitioner to communicate and cooperate properly and regularly with respondent, me, via telephone and tablet messages to have any questions answered or concerns addressed about her son, or to update petitioner about changes in her life they both need to be aware of? I thought Brian told her in open court he did not care. He didn't care to know anything about her life, her job, her little schedule, her hymnals, her delicious delights. Didn't he tell her in open court? Because I don't care. Now she wants the judge to order he communicate and cooperate properly and regularly about changes in her life they both need to be made aware of. Leave a comment below if you can think of anything Brian Boone needs to be aware of as far as Sarah's new life as a pro se inmate? No, a LWOP inmate. B. Regular open communication and telephone calls between mother and son, answered upon child's availability and desire. Night night, termite. But she doesn't want him to attend his football games with his dad so that he can hang around waiting for a 30-minute phone call or hang out at the prison. C. Regular open communication between mother and son in tablet messages with credits to utilize features to send pictures and as an alternative to telephone calls. We know there's a multitudinous amount of features on the prison calls, the app, I believe. However, why can't Sarah pay for the calls herself? I've said this multiple times. Why is she trying to commit Brian to a lifetime of prison calls with unlimited credits that she can utilize? Why can't she just pay for it herself and say, Your Honor, I just want them to answer the phone. I'm going to call my son a couple times a week and I'll pay for the calls. She has fans around the world. Sidebar, don't forget to put your stars in your maps. Our map is so full. Yay! You guys would be so proud. Sarah would be so jaded. Her sisters and flying donkeys are helping her with her ChatGPT closing, helping her file documents apparently. They're buying vinyls from Australia. Why can't they just give her 13 cents for a few phone calls? Futuristically. D. In-person visits 1 to 2 times per month with maximum allowable time permitted by the facility. This is a tricky one, leaving it up to the facility. I'm not sure if Sarah's aware or if anyone watches prison documentaries or 60 Days In, shows like that. Leave a comment below. You could get to the prison for a visit and the prison can get shut down for a riot. The prison can get shut down for safety reasons and you'll be turned away. You can be inside of the prison and there could be a literal riot or a lockdown. They'll lock it down and sirens will go off and the lights will start blaring and the doors will start locking, and if you're in there, you're locked down too. This is what little man will be subjected to versus going to hang out with his dad and watching football. Now that I think of it, Sarah doesn't only want to take away his extracurricular activities. He's a hardworking student, full-time student in his prime. She wants to take away his father's ability to financially provide for him. Wow. Let's play Sarah's advocate. If you didn't know Sarah and we were looking through this of a lens, just non-biased, we didn't know either of these people, from both of their arguments, who would you choose? What would you decide? Who would you lean towards? E. The first time, sidebar, the first time I read this, I almost fell off of my seat. E. Petitioner to complete a co-parenting class and attend counseling of his choice. How generous. Focused on parental alienation and communication strategies to promote a positive future as parents to their son and in his best interest. Now, I may have been worried about a few things in this ChatGPT closing, but this isn't one of them. I absolutely think Judge Jackson will wipe the floor with this portion of the closing. And I hope she wipes something else with the rest of her closing and flush it down the toilet where it belongs. Let's read that again. Petitioner to complete a co-parenting class and attend counseling of his choice focused on parental alienation and communication strategies to promote a positive future as parents to their son and in his best interest. Lastly, the respondent, me, wishes to address the petitioner's request for attorney fees and for the fees to be retroactively offset against his alimony arrears. The respondent, me, respectfully requests that this court deny the petitioner's motion for attorney's fees under Rosen v. Rosen. Sidebar, has anyone looked that up? The court must consider not only the parties' relative financial resources, but also the scope and history of Sarah's proposed parenting plan. What are you guys thinking? What's crazy to me is Brian has taken the biggest hit financially for Sarah's crime, for her criminal crime. He's taken the largest loss out of everyone. He's become a single dad. He's had to relocate several times, obtain legal counsel. And Sarah had the nerve to say, getting an attorney is a choice. Respondent, me, I didn't have an attorney. Petitioner had the option to get an attorney. So that's on him. That's on you. And another thing that bothered me is that since Brian didn't come in with like an itemized list showing what he did, he just came in with clean hands and said, hey, I did this with the storage. I took care of this. I was the only one she had. And I took care of it for her. Now she's twisting that and saying, well, he doesn't have proof of it, so it doesn't exist. And those were gifts. How crass. As far as the attorney's fees, she's basically saying that's on him. And to continue, the history of litigation, including whether one party's actions unnecessarily prolonged or complicated proceedings. Here, the petitioner has willfully failed to comply with prior court-ordered obligations and has initiated this action despite being in contempt of court. He isn't in contempt of court. She wants him to be in contempt. She's vying for it. As held in, and she lists the statute, fee awards are intended to ensure equality between parties, not to reward a party acting in bad faith with unclean hands. The respondent additionally asked this court to strike or dismiss the petitioner's request as nothing more than another improper attempt to evade his obligation to pay long-standing alimony arrears. Even though the judge she doesn't know either of these people. She was once a foster child herself in the same situation. I'm sure she can see that Brian is a stand-up, honorable guy. He's a good dad. He's trying. He is putting his best foot forward, prioristically, even when Sarah was free. I just hope she looks at those body cam videos. But I do have faith that she can feel the energy and just know that Brian is, not what Sarah is proclaiming. She says in the letters, he isn't what he seems to be. He's not what you guys think he is, presenting as if he's this monster. We know who the monster is, though.
I do not feel that it is right for me to have a 30-minute phone call with my son.
Shout out to Panda Girl. Panda Girl 9096 says, Sarah is relentless. She doesn't care what Brian and son has to do to meet her demands. Judge will put Sarah in her place. Move on. Next question. Next question, please, ma'am. If you're done, you're done. You're not going to tell anybody anything, ma'am. You're going to ask your questions and move on. Judge Jackson had her hands clasped so hard together like she was praying. She was trying to get out of there so fast. You have 15 more minutes, ma'am. don't waste your time. We're going to leave at 5 today. And meanwhile, the officers at the facility were trying to take the phone from Sarah. We're going to have to wrap this up soon. She has to go. Yes, please. Lambert v. Lambert, Hunter v. Hunter. Kettlebell says, shout out to Kettlebell. Welcome to the Boone's farm. Gosh, I really feel bad for little man and Brian. She is a great source of entertainment for us, but imagine that being part of your family and your mother at that. When she gives life advice, which you know she will, how long until little man tells her about herself? Oh, Kettlebell, good one. I love your channel and so glad I found you. And I was gifted a membership from Tanika last night. Hey, yay. We had a ball on that live. Thank you. Shout out to Tanika. Big shout out to Tanika. Balls of a burglar. Balls of a burglar. Happy Sunday, everybody. Sunday Funday. Thanks for hanging out, for joining, for subscribing, for modding, for being a member, for hanging out, for hyping, for liking, for wiping all of the blood off your keyboard, you little scoundrel, you. I just can't get past you and I are communicating so far apart. So cool. About the tablets, they are beyond basic and there is no internet. They remind me of the bulky, super thick, protected preschool tablet we had for my son when he was young. I get so frustrated with them and autocorrect makes me see red. We can watch movies, message, use the law library every day, view photos, make requests to the jail. Not much of anything, and everything costs money. Not much of anything, and everything costs money. This next portion leads me to believe Sarah is leading little man on. She speaks with conviction about coming home and what she'll do. Remember her and Lana used to speak about sitting on the couch and eating ice cream and her telling Lana the real story about that day? If Sarah's speaking like this to full grown adults, her friends, in total delusion, imagine how she's speaking to little men. Brian's told us that she has him go off to the room in the dark and speaks to him alone, and he's upset when he gets off the phone. We don't know absolutely for sure why he's upset. She's probably playing all sorts of mental gymnastics with little man. Listen to this next portion really carefully. Just listen to how she's making plans, just outright making plans about what she's going to do when she gets home. I mean, look at her up on the screen with her fish soap. She's an animal lover. So thank you beyond words. Keep them coming. I share them with everyone for instant smiles and fun. We all appreciate them. Yes. I will see you when I am free. I will see you when I am free and fantastic, loving the world and all its amazingness. Steve Irwin Zoo is probably pretty spectacular. Have you been? What kind of theme parks do you have? What are their names? What else do you do for fun? Beaches? What kind of birds do you have? Insects? I always wanted to be an ornithologist, study of birds, or an entomologist, study of bugs. Send some pics if you can. So cool. See you there. I miss my cats, Mitzi, Simon, and Sadie. My dogs actually died while I was here from a tumor on the heart and asthma for the other. I'll see them again. They're always on my mind, and I've got many blessed memories. I miss them, all of them, dearly. Thank you for asking about my son. I don't talk to him for safety reasons and confidentiality, but I do see and speak to him on a regular basis. It's hard to think he was 9 when I first got here, and now he's a teenager. Yes. Sidebar. Sarah says here that she speaks to him regularly, and she would have others and us, the people, believe that she doesn't. Interesting. Heartbreaking and difficult to think about. Thank you for understanding. Other than that, for now, if you are willing and able, here we go. Commissary is as follows, and she gives the information for commissary. Go to Inmate Trust Fund to add anything you would like for me to make a purchase from the commissary of snacks, clothing, shampoo, lotion, etc. Any amount is extremely generous, and I can't thank you enough. There's also a website for fun packages to purchase. I don't get them often, but I know they have different snacks than commissary. If interested or just want to go check out, go to, and she lists the information there. Either way, I hope you know I'm not in for this, for that. I'm not in this for that. I enjoy hearing from you and learning about people from all over the globe. I don't respond to everyone, but your positive message and location prompted me to, and I'm glad I did. Keep it real on the outs, and I will on the ends. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. Pet kitty for me. In my opinion, Sarah Boone is the danger to the child. Panda Girl also says, Sarah doesn't drop anything. The contempt issue was not granted. She keeps poking at Brian just like she did with George. Judge got her number. Move on. Hoping she gets nothing and son gets to decide when and how he will communicate with her. Shout out to Dan P. 3511. Hey Dan. Dan says, she's still whining about the guardian ad litem not being granted. ... Jesus' Life says, 1 trillion calls per week won't, quote, achieve a feeling of affection. Speaking to the fact when Sarah said in her prison parenting plan, the respondent, me, wishes to foster a feeling of affection, saying that Brian should help foster that feeling of affection. So she wants the judge to legally bind him to talk to her because he doesn't answer her calls or her texts for 5 years. Ohio Mom Pom says, I wish Brian's attorneys would have entered some of her very nasty emails to her son. Same, Ohio Mom Pom, same. I found some peace in making myself believe that Judge Jackson is pillaging through all of the emails and text and nasty letters. Hopefully. I saw a post on Suma's page, hey Suma, from Andrea. I bet the lawyer said not to bring up a bunch of bad stuff against Sarah so the judge would see all the hatred and pettiness from Sarah. Brian would look more stable and normal. And the less Brian brought up, the worse it made Sarah seem. And Suma responded, that's exactly what I think. B_Lumencraft responds, don't make arguments and hope the judge hope the judge assumes, right? What is this tactic called? 42D chess? I'm kind of from that school of straight A students too. I wish Brian would have gotten a little down and dirty just in case Judge Jackson doesn't have time to read all of the multitudinous amounts of documentation that Sarah's created over the years. Sarah is surely gunning for her legacy.
So these are the tablets. Phone dollar, that's your phone. Messaging, free profile, video, law library. Can I hit this?
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. Then you bring the law library up.
So you can actually access the law library from these?
pretty cool.
Yeah, Westlaw.
Yep.
What? That's fire. Let me click back out. Square.
That he hadn't been drinking that much.
That he wasn't that drunk. No.
Okay. When he's been drinking, does he get really excited?
Sometimes he gets excited, and you can tell he like slurs his words, and and I can tell like he gets really emotional, and sometimes starts crying and.
Okay. And none of that happened that
No,
night?
none of that.
Have you ever witnessed them physically fight?
I've seen them because I've been to their house and she's come out all crazy. I went over with my wife and they had called me to go over there. She had called me to go over there.
Sarah?
Sarah had.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll come over. That he wanted to see me. So I went over. And as soon as I get there, she comes out crazy because she saw some guy peeing around the corner. And she was trying to fight the guy and argue with the guy. And my brother was like, yo, calm down, B. Just calm down. And it was like, I went to that. That's why I would try to avoid everything. Like, I would call, whenever he called me, I talked to him. I tried to talk to him. But it was always, like, they were always.
Did she physically touch George, or was she just getting really upset and
upset, like she came out upset. But there's a person, I can't remember, somebody seen him because he was on a bike one day and he told me, I can't remember the person it was because he was on a bicycle and she hit him with the car and I can't remember who the person was and he told me.
Okay. Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck, eye.
Like what kind of marks?
Like the time she hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck.
Would you see Sarah every time you saw George?
Off and on. Like if I would go over there, I would see her with him. And then sometimes if he ever came here, I would see him. Or sometimes when I would go over there, he would just come out and I wouldn't see him.
So you more saw your brother than Sarah?
I think it was equal.
Equal?
Because I've seen her. Sometimes she had marks and stuff. So
and what do you mean by marks?
Like bruises and stuff too. They used to beat each other. Her arm, black eyes too. 2 months.
Would they always, him and Sarah, any arguments, any physical altercations?
No, he didn't really like to talk about it like that. Like everybody knew it.
Right.
Like they used to come here and fight and stuff.
Okay.
And my mom wouldn't like it and tell them to go.
Right.
And I know one day she came, it's been like maybe 2 months. My dad, because she always tried to hug everybody, and everybody didn't want to be hugging like that. And she pushed my dad, and my dad fell.
Yeah.
So.
Would they always, would Sarah always be intoxicated when you saw her?
Most of the time.
And what about George?
There was times he was not. He had drank, but he wasn't like drunk. Like he would try to like eat and try
to take everything with you in my foregoing message, and I have to disagree with you in every fiber of my being that, quote unquote, you completely understand where I'm coming from. You do not, nor ever will. Never. I am grateful for your attempt, but you do not and will not, nor no one will or does. Again, thank you. Thank you for trying and being there with what you can and will. Family law. In my attempts to take advantage of some of the opportunities of help and remedy you have offered, I do not have time to relay quote unquote specific questions back and forth and compile answers and wait, then not know what or how to even apply whatever it is you may send. I am overloaded with everything already and cannot mentally handle much more. I cannot. What I need is an attorney. I need to get my son back and get my awful former husband to do what he's supposed to be doing lawfully. And while all of the contracts and agreements between us are still active, he has made and continues to make his own rules and laughs at me and degrades, shames, and crushes all in front of my son. I do not call anymore, almost 3 months, because of the lies and pain they both inflict on me every moment. The things I could tell you, I cannot and will not send any of my original documents, as I had to almost wait a year for and collect money from different people to purchase from me from my own clerk's website and going to the courthouse to physically pick up for me. I cannot lose these. What also makes this impossible is that the court documents cannot be viewed online from the judge, making non-public except for the people prying and exploiting and paying money to receive from the court. I cannot view myself even if I did have the internet. I need an attorney for my family law case. I do not need any more answers to just sit and consume my time while I figure out how to use. I need an attorney who can file and go to court with me and represent like the precious attorney former husband has to help him violate my rights, take away my son, lie incessantly, spit in my face, step on my neck, and rake me through the mud. Take everything I have left. I need a physical attorney for my family law case. My marriage agreements expire April 2025. Criminal case. I know all of my rights, and I have already have the majority of my case laws you sent me. I can't do anything with them due to the massive ongoing violations of, and because I do not have an attorney other than myself and God. I don't know what or how to fight any harder than what I already am, and with nothing, phone, internet, understanding, privacy, anything. I attempted to get the pens and paper the jail promised on record in the court at my last hearing and ended up being pulled to a private closed room with no other witnesses to be threatened and refused and told to stop asking. I can't even get pens and paper. I have an abundance of ammunition in both cases, but have no cannon to put in. With the top tier law school and team sounds priceless, but what am I going to do with any of it? Back and forth answers and questions? I don't have time, sir, as the judge has ordered the trial of my life to take place in less than 6 weeks after almost 5 years waiting from all the former ineffective court-appointed quote-unquote attorneys who got me in this situation in the first place. Sidebar, because her filming and torturing George absolutely has nothing to do with why she's behind bars. Again, this is just a glimpse into how Sarah treats people that try to help her. I never fired any of them. They all consumed my time, took from me years of my life, and promised me my son, home, happiness, just to lie and abandon the story of my life. The judge's disgusting misunderstanding and retaliations are unfair and wrong on so many levels, especially with the extreme down to the wired timeframes and final completion date of October 7th, 2024. My birthday is October 10th. I'll be in trial. Also stated in his order of forcing me to be pro se, I can't ask for a continuance even if I retain counsel. Page 15. This case shall remain specifically set for trial for the 2-week, now 3-week trial period beginning Monday, October 7th, 2024, and will not be continued for any reason except by extraordinarily good cause, and such extraordinarily good cause shall not include retention of counsel by the defendant. I'm not yelling. I'm emphasizing my needs. You repeatedly ask if I have any. I need my son foremost. I need a family attorney to be in court with me to inflict fear of myself and the Delphines. I need representation mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I need my son. Sacrificing can be concluded with an attorney in and for my family law case. This is what I need. There is so much more, but my priorities are listed, and the aforementioned are first. Most important to me right now, it's a joke to me when anyone asks what I need. As said, no one ever will understand even an inkling of anything I am experiencing. My heart and soul are muted and crushed. I'm done with the headache, and it seems never ending. Remember, please, I do not own a white flag, and nothing is impossible to those who believe. Help is needed. Desperate but patient. I am grateful. You will never know how much just for caring and making an attempt and believing in me. I won't let you down. Forgive me if I came across cross. Not my intention, as in everything. I am very emphatic and overdue for real help and sure.
I have no idea.
It's a good thing we both know so much.
I can admit that I have no idea what's going
Yeah,
on.
me too. I have to, because it happens a lot. But not as much as with Sarah, though.
Yeah. Wait, she does admit that she's sorry. She's sorry. She doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, very sorry. It's not her. It's just hard when she's on the phone, because in person she does such a great job. So here again she mentions, regardless of location differences, which she can fully be successful in and continue to enrich her son's life even more. How so? Ceaselessly upholding his rights as a child. This reminds me of even while at DOC, and in which he avidly invites and welcomes every day she is in communication with him. First of all,
my favorite part is coming up when she talks about how she's going to improve his life.
Okay, good. I just want to say here that when she's ceaselessly upholding his rights as a child to this day.
Mm-hmm.
To this day. Nonetheless, this is very reminiscent of, well, everything is reminiscent of her interrogation.
Yep.
Florida
only has like 5 lines.
Yeah, that's right. Florida State 61.13 affirms both parents have equal rights to participate in their child's life unless clear and convincing evidence proves harm to the child. The primary reason for the request of a guardian ad litem, the respondent was repeatedly denied to emphatically prove there is no such evidence. The child also could have reaffirmed his praise for the relationship, which he knows will grow to another positive level once application for his visitation are finally received, where both mother and son can be reunited in person.
Ugh. What a nightmare.
Forgive me, Internet. Forgive me. Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Jackson.
I don't need to ask forgiveness from my son because I worked ceaselessly and tirelessly
for his
every
rights
day to protect his rights as a child.
I mean, what does that even mean?
I think she's trying to say she's protecting his rights with the money, with the support, and also his right to see her and not be alienated from her. Because that's he's crying every night in bed. Why can't I talk more to Mom?
Yeah, poet she's not is right. Yeah. And I mean, I think that, as always, the child would tell a much different story than she's telling. For major decisions in the child's life, that's how she starts a sentence, the respondent should be included in his growth as a young adult, which can help shape him into being even greater, more open-minded, loving, and successful. In here's Lamb versus Lamb. Lamb versus Lamb, which they couldn't find, if memory serves. Both parents must be consulted on major decisions unless an emergency arises. Oh, is that what Lamb versus Lamb said? Or are you going to quote something, you asshole? The respondent's mind, heart, soul, and overall being, which lives for her son, still computes love, understanding, compassion.
She still computes love.
She still computes love.
She is computing love.
She still computes love, understanding, compassion, knowledge, wisdom, goodness to provide to her son's life, no matter where. It sounds like, remember the show Small Wonder? Yes. Probably not. Yeah. So, let's not talk about it. No matter where she is, I'm sorry I brought that up because that's...
I prefer the computer wore tennis shoes personally, but that's my personal taste.
No matter where she is, she desperately wants to be included and has not been since her incarceration. Bitch, you weren't included since long before your incarceration, by choice.
Hear Me Out says she's protecting his human right to have an amazing...
Oh, look who's back. Look who's back. Thank you, Hear Me Out. Now he's trying to buy my love.
I mean, if it works for Sarah.
You know me. You, not them. Sacred and special. Sacred and special? Okay, Sarah. Okay, so Sarah, from her point of view, she's like, how could you be my partner in crime, help me harass and stalk these people, be her highly mishandled case? So she has a vendetta for YouTubers. And to know that her best friend or partner in crime, per se, has befriended a YouTuber, she feels betrayed.
In the case of my friend Sarah, the words narcissist, Karen, villain, many other things, they roll off the tongue with little regard to the humanity that is dismissed so flippantly. And under a lot of circumstances, I was one of those people, as I have a love of true crime. And becoming friends with Sarah has shown me that there's a lot more depth to the people I see on the screen.
No. And at this point, Lana's like starstruck. She's like not willing to let go of the relationship that she has fostered. It's like more of a real life relationship. From what I understand, she met with Tanika a few days before she passed away. So all of the fantasizing that her and Sarah did about sitting on the couch one day, she knew that wasn't going to be true. So Sarah told her to pick a side, and she did.
Did you love George?
To this day.
Why did you love him?
George was very passionate. George was a very real person. George was nice to me on the good days. George complimented me. George and I were two bodies with one soul, he and I would always say. I don't believe that I've ever had a connection with anyone like I have with George.
Did you have that connection with your ex-husband?
I did not.
Was it even close?
You know, not intentionally. Sarah just told the whole world that she basically never loved her former husband and expects him to still provide for her monetarily. She still wants his money.
I'm just tired of it happening. Yeah, I mean, it was midnight. I mean, child's trying to sleep and just...
Right.
Alana to Sarah. Hey, I know there's a lot of work to be done, and I apologize for asking this now. This is one of those questions I was originally going to wait until you were free and we were on the couch with the ice cream, you know, but actually, I think I'm going to ask now because you may feel differently about the subject after you are free. You certainly can decide not to answer, and I won't feel bad or get upset. I definitely don't want to cause you any pain, and I sincerely apologize if my question does. I don't mean it or anything, and I do not and never will judge you. Plus, I don't want to ask you as part of a documentary. It's between you and me as friends. Just some context. I have never smoked. I tried when I was 16 and got really sick. So, never got into it. And I'm the only one in my family growing up who never picked it up. Parents and brothers did, and a few still do. I can't drink anymore because of my kidney disease. I have to watch fluid intake, and as my liver also is polycystic, drinking taxes it, and I want to live. Aww. But there was a period of time 11 years ago after my father died that I lost control of my drinking for a year or so and had lots of blackouts and health issues. I ended up in the hospital with ICU with severe pancreatitis for a few weeks before I finally took control. Before that period of time, it was just infrequent social drinking or a nice glass of wine on a date. After my hospital stay, it was back to infrequent social drinking until my kidneys failed and I had to stop. Needless to say, after I got home from the hospital, I really suffered physically and psychologically as my body had to reorient to not binging constantly. However, I was really lucky that I was home. My question to you is, how do you cope going suddenly from home to a jail? Did they help you medically? I don't know how much you drank day to day, but did they also help you with smoking withdrawal too? I thought more about this question after getting off of the phone with you after telling me your experience. We got documented and recorded and officially filed as a report by me. I wondered if they even had some compassion on you dealing with stopping stuff cold turkey. I don't know if you realize how much you truly have overcome in your life over this fact alone. So that was my question. How did you cope and get through? And a question you might not have decided yet when you get out of there. Do you intend to pick up these things again? Yes or no? I wouldn't love you any differently. I respect who you are. I also ask because as a true crime lover, I have watched other former inmate stories about using drugs and then suddenly going to jail where they were cut off. I used to watch Intervention where many of them face the same thing. To be honest, sometimes when I crash on the dialysis machine and every bone and muscle in my body cramps up and racks in terrible pain, I have thought at least nothing compared to what they force you to go through. Oh, Lana. Anyways, thanks. If you'd rather not talk about it, I respect your wishes too. You're strong. I wanted to know how you faced it. Thanks. You know, once you get out of there and open your own social media channel, you'll be helping hundreds of thousands of people facing that Mount Everest, incarcerated or not. That's some serious revenue. Not to mention, you'll be making a major difference and not just in me. Hi, friend. Happy Sunday, heart. Hope you're feeling beautiful. Thank you for this information. So, it looks like they finally got my address correct. Thank goodness. And Hobson trying to get paid for what? He did bow out and ungracefully nonetheless. He did nothing but lie at the pulpit that I asked for too many resources and whatever his unethical problem was, which in my opinion was ethically, he knew he couldn't string me along any further, especially after I asked repeatedly for my discovery. He did not want to end up being another letter which I already had written to submit in court during his withdrawal after he told me he'd see me in next Friday for another meeting. Then I get his withdrawal in the mail, but bitch ass Cashman refused to represent me in the basement of the courthouse, yelling at me, and I had no say in anything, and she's running the show if I submitted. He made it out unscathed. Other than what I was able to say in court, this is a joke. Robbery of the JAC and from me. So who else is trying in to cash in? For what? No one did anything but consume time, lie, and now cheat for money. In all seriousness, is this something I can petition, that the $15,000 for my case from nothing they did, and I can use now my investigator who does actually work hard? Again, who else filed for payment? What do you think? Sarah wants in on that money, just like with Brian when she said, I don't want the back pay for alimony or child support. I just want to have control over how it's spent. The JAC is giving her a budget, but she wants to control who, what, when, where, and how it's distributed.
So, George stabbed me in my leg.
From Sarah to the Julian Delphine Creative. Hello again. Thank you for this information and your timely response. Forgive me in advance for possibly coming across with you in my foregoing message, and I have to disagree with you in every fiber of my being that, quote unquote, you completely understand where I'm coming from. You do not, nor ever will. Never. I am grateful for your attempt, but you do not and will not, nor no one will or does. Again, thank you. Thank you for trying and being there with what you can and will. Family law. In my attempts to take advantage of some of the opportunities of help and remedy you have offered, I do not have time to relay quote unquote specific questions back and forth and compile answers and wait, then not know what or how to even apply whatever it is you may send. I am overloaded with everything already and cannot mentally handle much more. I cannot. What I need is an attorney. I need to get my son back and get my awful former husband to do what he's supposed to be doing lawfully. And while all of the contracts and agreements between us are still active, he has made and continues to make his own rules and laughs at me and degrades, shames, and crushes all in front of my son. I do not call anymore, almost 3 months, because of the lies and pain they both inflict on me every moment. The things I could tell you, I cannot and will not send any of my original documents, as I had to almost wait a year for and collect money from different people to purchase from me from my own clerk's website and going to the courthouse to physically pick up for me. I cannot lose these. What also makes this impossible is that the court documents cannot be viewed online from the judge making non-public except for the people prying and exploiting and paying money to receive from the court. I cannot view myself even if I did have the internet. I need an attorney for my family law case. I do not need any more answers to just sit and consume my time while I figure out how to use. I need an attorney who can file and go to court with me and represent like the precious attorney former husband has to help him violate my rights, take away my son, lie incessantly, spit in my face, step on my neck, and rake me through the mud. Take everything I have left. I need a physical attorney for my family law case. My marriage agreements expire April 2025. Criminal case. I know all of my rights, and I have already have the majority of my case laws you sent me. I can't do anything with them due to the massive ongoing violations of, and because I do not have an attorney other than myself and God. I don't know what or how to fight any harder than what I already am, and with nothing, phone, internet, understanding, privacy, anything. I attempted to get the pens and paper the jail promised on record in the court at my last hearing and ended up being pulled to a private closed room with no other witnesses to be threatened and refused and told to stop asking. I can't even get pens and paper. I have an abundance of ammunition in both cases, but have no cannon to put in. With the top tier law school and team sounds priceless, but what am I going to do with any of it? Back and forth answers and questions? I don't have time, sir, as the judge has ordered the trial of my life to take place in less than 6 weeks after almost 5 years waiting from all the former ineffective court-appointed quote-unquote attorneys who got me in this situation in the first place. Sidebar, because her filming and torturing George absolutely has nothing to do with why she's behind bars. Again, this is just a glimpse into how Sarah treats people that try to help her. I never fired any of them. They all consumed my time, took from me years of my life, and promised me my son, home, happiness, just to lie and abandon the story of my life. The judge's disgusting misunderstanding and retaliations are unfair and wrong on so many levels, especially with the extreme down to the wire timeframes and final completion date of October 7th, 2024. My birthday is October 10th. I'll be in trial. Also stated in his order of forcing me to be pro se, I can't ask for a continuance even if I retain counsel. Page 15. This case shall remain specifically set for trial for the 2-week, now 3-week trial period beginning Monday, October 7th, 2024, and will not be continued for any reason except by extraordinarily good cause, and such extraordinarily good cause shall not include retention of counsel by the defendant. I'm not yelling. I'm emphasizing my needs. You repeatedly ask if I have any. I need my son foremost. I need a family attorney to be in court with me to inflict fear of myself and and the Delphines. I need representation mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I need my son. Sacrificing can be concluded with an attorney in and for my family law case. This is what I need. There is so much more, but my priorities are listed, and the aforementioned are first. Most important to me right now, it's a joke to me when anyone asks what I need. As said, no one ever will understand even an inkling of anything I am experiencing. My heart and soul are muted and crushed. I'm done with the headache, and it seems never ending. I won't let you down. Forgive me if I came across cross. Not my intention, as in everything. I am very emphatic and overdue for real help and relief. I am grateful immeasurably. Thank you wholeheartedly. Applicable scripture. Sidebar, and if you're not aware, these are the documentary people. They want to do a documentary with Sarah, and she's responding to the specific part here where they say, last but not least, as stated above, we will send the documentary film agreement as soon as ready. Perhaps we can schedule a call after you receive the agreement to answer any questions you have. We would like to hear your thoughts on having Lana's involvement in the film project. We believe Lana would be a great asset to the team. Apologies if we are bombarding you with information. And again, thanks for your thoughtful email. Please know that we completely understand where you are coming from. That really ticked her off. We completely understand where you are coming from. Stay courageous, Sarah. Peter and Julian, pro se rights. A pro se defendant, meaning someone who represents themselves in court without an attorney, has the same constitutional rights as any other defendant in a criminal trial. So if you want to get the full unedited version, head over to Tanika's channel. But I just wanted to show how Sarah reacts and treats people that are trying to help her. Here, this guy, they're trying to help her with a documentary, and I'm pretty sure she was a little jealous that they were interested in Lana also. She wants to be the main character, the star of the show. She probably didn't even want George to be involved in it. She just wants it to be all about her. Oh, Sarah.
I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him. Yeah.
I'm going to go to court and I'm going to tell the judge, listen, my fiance has nothing to do with it. It's all my fault.
It's a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Let me just grab something.
All right. No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked and...
No.
Okay, but why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am.
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
Okay.
I excel at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't, completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
Okay. No, it was just the way you said it.
You guys are scaring me.
Why?
Well, we just want you to watch this. This came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please.
Remember, please, I do not own a white flag, and nothing is impossible to those who believe. Help is needed. Desperate but patient. I am grateful. You will never know how much just for caring and making an attempt and believing in me.